This is Game Set Match Kentucky episode 46, recorded on Thursday, June 5th, 2025, entitled, Chad Forgot His Microphone. Hey everybody, it's time for another episode and another year of Game Set Match Kentucky, where we talk about all things related to tennis in Kentucky, especially the Central Kentucky Tennis Series. I'm Chris Godby, the chairman and one of the founders of the CKTS, where the lines are good, sandbagging is for golf, and yes, our results are collected by UTR. I'm here today in Studio A at CKTS headquarters in Russell Springs, Kentucky. And with me right here to my left is a friend that I haven't seen since Kentucky Tennis Weekend back in January. Coach Chad Young is in Studio D in Bowling Green.
So are you to my left? I feel like this is the Brady Bunch. I don't know which direction I'm supposed to
look.
If I do
this, no. Trust me, the viewers are seeing me point to you right now.
Am I pointing to you?
I get the whole Brady Bunch reference, though. Like, yeah.
So are you here or here?
I'm there. I am there. Yes.
You're here. All right.
To your right.
How's it going?
Hey,
how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Can you hear me all right? Yes, You mentioned we haven't seen each other since Kentucky Tennis Weekend, and the microphone has not made it out of the car since Kentucky Tennis Weekend.
So that microphone, that very professional, high-quality radio industry microphone, It has been in the trunk of your car since January through winter, spring, and now basically summer. I'm sure it'll be just fine. Those electronics will hold up just great.
That bag is bulletproof, I'm sure.
Okay.
Waterproof, heat-proof, all that.
Heat-proof? We'll see. We'll see. So he's being picked up just by his built-in camera mic, and so I can hear you okay. So we'll see how it goes.
Hopefully it sounds okay. So,
hopefully.
Anyway, it's been a busy spring, so I'm just now kind of getting above water after the high school season.
Right. High school tennis just ended days ago. And so that's really the reason that we haven't had a podcast since January, because, in January, I guess, is kind of when you start, right?
Yeah, I mean, official starts mid-February, but we start, our off-season stuff once the kids come back from school or come back from the Christmas break. It gets really busy, especially in March and April and May. So here we are in June. The tour is already underway.
That's right. And as of this moment, the 8th season of Game Set Match Kentucky is underway. So I'm excited about that, and I'm glad to be back with you. And so let's talk about some tennis today. We're going to talk about the 23rd year of the CKTS, which has just started. We're going to preview our next tournament, which is one that you run, the Sydney Cassady Memorial. Louisville almost got a huge new tennis facility, and then they didn't, but they still might. Yeah. Maybe. All this plus tennis news and announcements and a whole lot more that you never asked for, as usual. But before we get into any of that, we want to thank our longtime sponsor, Vision Cabinet Source. Chad, can you tell us about Vision Cabinet Source?
Thinking about a home renovation or new build? Start with the cabinets, because great spaces begin with great design. And there's no better place to start than Vision Cabinet Source in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Vision Cabinet Source delivers premium cabinetry backed by a 17-step finishing process, ensuring top-quality craftsmanship that looks beautiful and lasts for years. From kitchens to bathrooms to office spaces, their wide selection of styles and finishes means you'll find the perfect fit, whatever your vision. And it's not just for locals. They ship nationwide, so no matter where you are in the U.S. listening to this program, you can get high-quality cabinets delivered right to your door. Whether you're a homeowner, builder, or contractor, Vision Cabinet Source makes it easy to get the look you want at a price that makes sense. Visit visioncabinet.com or call 270-465-3222 to get started. That's Vision Cabinet Source, where your vision becomes reality.
And a big thank you to Vision Cabinet Source. So the CKTS season has already begun. We've already had one tournament. We've got 7 more lined up, ready to go. Let's take a look back at last weekend in Campbellsville, the Miller Park Tennis Classic. It was on May 31st to June 1st. And Amber Wolf Brown, now Amber Brown, congratulations to Amber and Evan on their wedding back in the winter, I think. They ran this tournament again together and did an excellent job. Let's jump in and look at junior results. So, Chad, if you'd like to start us off with boys 12 and under singles, please.
All right, boys 12 and under singles, William Hopkins defeated Aaron Owsley 6-0, 6-0.
In boys 14 and under singles, it was Roger Pierce defeating Tanner Reed 6-1, 6-2.
In boys 16 singles, it was Micah Goodwin defeating Jude Stith 6-3, 6-3.
In boys 18 and under singles, Reese Spalding defeated Logan Nesbitt 6-3, 6-3.
There was no girls 12 and under singles, so we'll go to girls 14 and under singles, and it was Leela Owsley defeating Jocelyn Vargas 6-1, 6-1.
In girls 16 and under, Mariah Kane was the champion, defeating Winter Emerson 6-2, 6-1.
In girls 18 and under singles, it was Paisley Harris defeating her teammate and doubles partner Peyton Limley 6-2 and 6-2.
All right, and in boys 18 and under singles, the team of Logan Nesbitt and Landon Nesbitt defeated Reese Spalding and Micah Goodwin 7-5, love 6, and 10-6 in the super tiebreaker.
Well, that sounds like a fun one.
That was very, crazy match. 7-5 and then love 6.
Yeah.
And then, we see that all the time.
I've been there before.
Oh, yeah, myself, I have too, yeah.
In girls 18 and under doubles, it was Peyton Limley and Paisley Harris defeating Leela Owsley and Lila Coley 6-0, 6-0.
No mixed 18s this time, so I'm going to jump over to the adult draws and start with men's open singles, where the champion was George Hopkins defeating Matthew McGrail 6-1, 6-1.
In men's C singles, it was Aaron Verone defeating Gregory Bernard 6-4 and 6-1.
In men's B singles, Jace Jackson defeated Jason Terrell 6-2, 6-7, and 10-5 in the super tiebreaker.
In men's 40 and over singles, there was a round robin, and Wade Stone was the winner thanks to his victory over Gaku Mitsumatsu 6-3, 3-6, and 10-4 in the tiebreaker.
No women's open singles, so in women's B singles, Erin Riney was the champion, winning both of her matches. In
men's open doubles, it was Matthew McGrail and Grant Hammonds defeating Kent and Matthew Smith 6-4 and 6-4.
In men's C doubles, the father-son team of James England and Benjamin England defeated Aaron Owsley and Timothy Davis 6-1, lost the second set 6-7, and won the super tiebreaker 12-10. Thriller.
Men's B doubles was a round robin, and Van Patterson and Dan Duncan were the winners. They went 2-0 in their division.
All right, men's 40 and over doubles. This is the division that I played, but I didn't get out of the semifinals. The champion was Bradley Sullivan and Don Humphreys, defeating Greg Foley and Teo Costello 6-2, 6-2.
Women's B doubles was a round robin, and Kyra Kane and Natalie Northcutt went 2-0 to capture the title.
In mixed open doubles, the brother-sister team of Nathan McQuarrie and Abby Helm defeated Thomas Layton and Madison Gibson 6-3, 6-1.
And mixed B doubles, it was Sonia and Richard Kessler defeating Aaron Verone and Parnia Chubdar 6-3, 6-0.
So that's a look back at the Miller Park Tennis Classic, and now it's on to the next. Once the CKTS season begins, it's a 4-month whirlwind to the end as the tournaments seem to fly by. It's already time for the next tournament, the second annual Sydney Cassady Memorial Tournament in Bowling Green. It'll be on June 14th and 15th at South Warren High and Buchanan Park. Entries are already open. They close on Tuesday the 10th. Chad, tell us a little about what we can expect next weekend.
Well, hopefully some dry weather. The extended
always a good element of a tennis tournament. Yes,
extended forecast hopefully is gotten a little bit better. But we've had this tournament for years. It's had a couple of different names. This is the second year we've had it as the Sydney Cassady Memorial, who is a young lady who played for South Warren, won 4 straight region titles in the later part of the last decade, but was killed in a car crash in 2021. So this is a tournament that benefits South Warren tennis, and also a scholarship that was established in her memory through the College Heights Foundation at WKU. It is good for any Kentucky college. So last year was our first year as the Cassady Memorial. It went really well. We actually have an alumni event that unofficially kicks off the tournament on Friday night. So that was good. And so we're excited about having another great event this year.
That's right. So folks, get registered and get in this tournament. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to register before that entry window closes on Tuesday night, June 10th at 6 p.m.
And you can win a llama.
I remember the llamas from last year. Yeah, those are the trophies, right?
We've tried to do some things that are a little special. And so Sydney, for whatever reason, was a big fan of llamas. So the trophies are not your regular, trophy with a tennis ball or whatever shield. It's a llama. It's a little llama planter. And so we did that last year, and we're going to do it again this year. So it's a unique trophy, and that's kind of what we were going for.
Well, I'm going to do whatever I can to win one of those.
There you go.
While we're talking about the upcoming season of CKTS, we just want to make sure our viewers and listeners have the dates to plan your summer. It's all on our website at cktstour.com. We do have one change that we made from when the schedule was revealed on this show back in the fall. It's not a change of date. It's not even a change of city. August 16th and 17th will still be in Bowling Green, but we'll have the official return of the Kids on the Block Points for Puppets tournament. Chad, tell us about how excited you are to be doing 2 tournaments, and the puppets are back.
Yeah, I thought I got away from doing 2, but I'm happy for Kids on the Block. They've been a part of the tour for several years. It was unfortunate, but we made the decision with the Cassady Memorial that's what we wanted that tournament to go toward, because it means so much to our program, and it just seemed to fit to have the Memorial Scholarship and also benefit the tennis program. And those seem to go hand in hand more than working with Kids on the Block, which I've loved working with. And so when the other Bowling Green CKTS was available, we reached out to Kids on the Block to see if they were interested. And they tried to do a tournament on their own last fall, but there were just too many conflicts and registration was pretty low. So they didn't have the tournament last year. And so they were really excited to be back on the tour this year. And so we're excited. We're going to do a little different, and I've kind of pushed for this. We have the Cassady Memorial here at South Warren and Buchanan. They're only about a mile different. But we have so many great facilities in Bowling Green, including Kariakis Park, which, people who've been playing tennis for years are familiar with that. It's a great facility. It's owned and operated by Bowling Green Parks and Recreation. And so we're going to have 2 sites for the Kids on the Block, Points for Puppets, and it's going to be at Kariakis and here at Buchanan. Obviously, we still want to have the indoor backup if necessary. But yeah, the puppets are back. I know they're excited, and I am as well. I don't know if I'm excited about 2 tournaments in the summer, but I guess I'll get used to it.
Well, the crew from Puppets, not the actual puppets themselves, but the crew from Puppets, they help a lot, right?
They do, and that makes it possible, because they do take care of a lot of the details, from sponsorships to getting the banners, getting the T-shirts done. They take care of all that stuff. I just have to do the tournament side of it, so that does make it easier. As opposed to the Sydney Cassady where we're working to put all those details together.
So that's a lot off your back. And anytime a tournament has a good set of volunteers, it really takes a good deal of pressure off of the tournament director. So
Right.
I'm glad you have some help. Earlier this spring, there was a lot of excitement in the Kentucky tennis world when plans were revealed for a proposed tennis and pickleball complex in Louisville. Sadly, this proposal has now been sidelined after failing to win city approval. The project aimed to create a regional sports hub, but it hit a wall at Metro Council. The idea was introduced last year by private developers and local recreation advocates. Plans called for a modern facility on city-owned land with more than a dozen tennis courts, multiple pickleball courts, a clubhouse, and a youth training space.
Supporters said it would attract tournaments and expand access to 2 fast-growing sports, but the plan drew pushback from concerns about public land use to environmental impacts to whether the complex would truly serve all residents. Without enough council support, the project was pulled.
Developers say they may revise and resubmit the proposal for another location, but for now, the city's growing racket sports community will have to wait. What were your thoughts on this? When you first heard about it, Chad, were you excited about this prospect and then greatly disappointed when it fell through?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I've heard about this project for the last couple of years. I sit on the USTA Kentucky board. We've heard things here and there about it. They've made proposals to USTA Kentucky because part of that was the possibility that USDA's offices will be moved into this facility. And then all of a sudden, this project really gained some steam in the spring. And that's when it kind of came public. It became a public project. There were news stories about it. And they scheduled public meetings and whatnot to be held. And you could kind of tell that there was a growing pushback, even from afar. So then the mayor made the announcement, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing for a number of reasons, primarily because, our 2 biggest cities, we're very fortunate to have municipalities and our school systems have supported tennis here in Bowling Green. Both our city and county parks departments have invested in tennis facilities, and our 2 largest cities have not really had that same support. Louisville is losing tennis courts. Lexington is losing tennis courts. If you look at the trouble we've had with the USGA league play and the state tennis tournament, we're sending people across the river to Indiana to play. The state tournament last year was sending kids to Berea and Richmond to play.
That's not down the street.
No.
Right.
We need we need a major tennis facility in Kentucky, and this had the potential to be that. And so for that and that alone, from a statewide perspective to lose that, or at least to have that option kind of disintegrate was disappointing. There is hope that maybe another site can be found. There are a lot of people who were okay with the idea, but didn't. It's kind of the not in my backyard mentality.
Sure.
And so, it's disappointing. I know that Jason and his staff at the USTA have worked really, really hard to support this and rally support across the state for this. I hope that continues because it's very, very, very needed to have something like this for players across the state, and certainly Louisville would enjoy the benefits of this if it were to bring in some large tournaments and have an impact from a tourism standpoint, but also for junior development in Louisville. It's really important. So I hope that there's still some life in this project, because wherever it needs to be, it needs to happen, because the state really needs a facility of this magnitude.
So it sounds like the resources were there, but the location was rejected, and that's what's next, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've got to find the spot, and they need, and at least from my perspective and what they've talked about for the financial aspect of it, they're going to need some public money to go toward it, and that was the other thing. I mean, I don't know that the private investment was. It might have been committed. I don't know that it had been announced, but I think there was still going to be, private money that still needed to be raised for this project. I don't think the project. I think 3 to 5 years would be a great timeline. I don't know how quickly they were hoping to get it built, but I still think this is probably in that range. Maybe a 3 to 5 year project. That might be optimistic with this setback, but hopefully they can find a location where that community will see the benefit that it would bring.
Well, that's something we're definitely paying attention to, and you can keep up with USTA Kentucky online on Facebook, and they'll break any news that there is, and of course we'll break it here as well. And we'll be right back after this message from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Hi, I'm former Major League Baseball player Robin Ventura, asking you to help Tunnel to Towers. I have a lot of admiration and love for what first responders do. You can't thank them enough, but you can support them, giving back to people that basically risk their lives for us every day. A donation of just $11 a month will go a long way. Go to t2t.org for more information on how you can help.
While the cancellation of the new tennis center project in Louisville is disappointing, there's still a lot happening for tennis around Kentucky, so let's talk about some recent action as well as what's coming up with USTA Kentucky. Chad?
Well, we just had the the 55 and over event this past weekend in Owensboro. They had to dodge some rain showers and play some of that fast four we all love. We'd like to say congratulations to the state championship winners. For the 3-0 women, it was the Dalton team out of Louisville. For the 3-5 women, it was the Bailey team out of Lexington. For the 3-5 men, it was the Talking team out of Lexington. 4-0 women champions were the Clark Schunkweiler team out of Louisville. For the 4-0 men, it was the Eden team out of Lexington that beat the Bowling Green team in the finals. And for the 4-5 men, it was the Hardesty team out of Lexington. And we wish all of those winners good luck at the sectionals, which will be not too long from now, June 27th through the 29th in Auburn, Alabama.
Good luck and safe travels to those going to that in Auburn, Alabama in a couple of weeks. Up next this weekend is the adult 40 and over taking place in Lexington. Chad, you're playing, right? Tell me about your team, who's on your team, and how badly you're going to beat everyone else.
Well, I'm not one for bulletin board material, so we are
Come on.
we are the defending champions. We won last year and advanced to the sectionals in Auburn. But I know there's some really good teams that'll be ready to take us on this weekend. So got a couple early tests. One Friday morning will be a good match, and so we'll just see how it goes. We've lost a couple guys. They got bumped up to the 4 or 5 level. So trying to find some replacements. One of the biggest changes this year is they've expanded the lineup. It's now 1 singles and 4 doubles.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to have 1 singles and 3 doubles, but you had a lot of 2-2s, and then it would come down to a tiebreaker of, sets won or sets lost, whatever it is. So this removes any tiebreaker business, and it's just a straight 5-point match. But it requires you to have a lot of guys on your roster to be able to play 4 matches over 2 days with that format.
How many players does a typical team have? I know you're playing 9, but do you have a few spares on hand?
Yeah, I think we have 12.
Okay.
But I think we had 12 last year when you only had 7 spots. So you could argue, maybe 13 or 14 are needed. Because we're in the 40 and over category. So, playing, 3-4 matches over 3 days is a lot. So you want to try to keep guys rested as much as possible. But you also nobody wants to go up there and not play. So you don't want to have too many guys on your roster.
Now, how do you decide who plays singles? Is it the person that draws the shortest straw, or the person that's in the best cardiovascular shape?
Believe it or not, there are people who have a sickness that leads to them liking to play singles. I haven't been afflicted with that in a long, long time. So
that's completely bizarre, and I feel for them. Yeah,
some people like it, but I'm not one of them.
Should be a foundation for those people. Yeah. Well, after that, later this summer, don't miss the 30th anniversary of the Lexington Open. Kentucky's only professional tour-level tennis tournament is July 28th through August 3rd at the Hillary J. Boone Tennis Complex in Lexington. Get your $25 advance ticket today, which includes a full-day event pass and a meal, including a sandwich, a side, and a drink. You can visit lexingtonopen.org for more information. And for more details on everything happening with USTA Kentucky, visit them at kentuckytennis.com or on Facebook at USTA Kentucky. And if you would like for us to promote your local level tennis events right here on an upcoming episode of this show, you can email us the information to info@gamesetmatchky.com. So just a few reminders. We've got the Sydney Cassady Memorial Tournament next weekend as we tape this, June 14th and 15th in Bowling Green. Entries opened this past Monday, June 2nd, and the deadline is Tuesday, June 10th at 6 p.m. Central Time. You can visit cktstour.com to register and to see our complete tournament schedule. CKTS tournaments are USTA sanctioned for juniors and adults at level 6. And yes, since I've been asked a few times over the last couple of weeks, I thought everyone knew this by now because this has been true for, I'm going to guess, 4 or 5 years, right, Chad? Our results are picked up by UTR. Yes.
Well,
hasn't it been a while?
I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but there's the USTA and UTR are not exactly BFFs.
Right. That's a whole nother conversation. But people ask me, do the results get picked up by UTR? And some are under the impression that they don't, but they do. And that's just, right or wrong with the USTA, that's just something people ask. And so I wanted to make it clear that those do.
UTR is the one that has to go through that trouble, but they seem to be going through that trouble.
Right.
All our stuff ends up on UTR, so it will help count toward that rating. And it also counts toward your WTN.
That's true. It does, yes. I don't know what my WTN is. I know that my UTR just drops just a little bit more with every tournament that I play. Just a little bit more and a little bit more. So, all right. Do you have any announcements for the Southern Kentucky Tennis Association to share with us?
Just a couple things. I mean, we have a couple of JTT programs here in Bowling Green, but Soki Tennis has started one at Bowling Green High School. We have a lot of kids from the surrounding area that are coming in for that. So it is on Mondays and Thursdays at 5:30 at Bowling Green High School. Justin Ham is leading that. So it's an opportunity for some instruction, but also for some match play, and that's available for 12, 14, and 18 under. And then we have a Drop Shots League that is wrapping up. We had a Drop Shots League last fall, and we've done one this spring. There's still a few weeks left in that if somebody wants to come by and participate. That is on Tuesdays at Kariakis Park. I think that starts at 6 o'clock.
All right. Well, you can learn more about Soki Tennis at SokiTennis.net or visit their Facebook page at Soki Tennis. And that's going to serve out another episode of Game Set Match Kentucky. I'd like to thank everyone who's watching us or listening on podcast. You can subscribe with any major podcast app on your mobile device, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon. I don't know if anybody uses Amazon Podcasts to listen to podcasts or Audible, but we're there. So we're everywhere. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. The handle at all three places is at GameSetMatchKY. You can follow the CKTS on Facebook, Instagram, and X at CKTS Tour. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@GameSetMatchKY. It's the same handle all three places, except on YouTube you have to put the little @ in there. Chad is on X at Chad Young Tennis, and I'm on X at Chris Godby. Thanks again to our sponsor, Vision Cabinet Source. There is that sound. Hawkeye says, we are out. Until next time, I'm Chris Godby with Chad Young, and this has been Game Set Match Kentucky. I had the button, and I lost where it is. I'm still learning this thing, but I had the button. There it is.